Hello, y'all.
Hello.
Hi.
I want to welcome everybody to Worship and Wellness, where we believe in biblical principles with practical steps. I'll be your host tonight, Marcus. I am joined by two other members of the wellness team. Y'all like to introduce yourself?
Well, y'all know me. I am Jakara. Nice to be here with y'all tonight.
Hello, and I'm Brittany. Welcome.
Welcome. So today we will be talking about seasonal depression.
Yep.
Coping through the holidays.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to start with the check-in. How are y'all holidays going?
Wanna go first? Right?
You said, can I go first?
You want to go first?
Sure, I can.
Okay.
It's been going well. I've been spending time with my family, doing some self-care, but planning meals, planning different events. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
Okay, good. How's Christmas shopping going?
That's another story, but no, it's overall everything is going well.
Okay. How would you tell how's your holiday season going?
It's going pretty well. I think this time around, this year, I'm trying to be more intentional about spending time with family. Last year was a bit chaotic, so having this downtime is really good. So I'm looking forward to Christmas this year. What about you, Marcus?
Yes. Mine is going great, actually. I'm more of a last minute shopper, so I actually did a lot of my shopping already. When I say last minute, I would have been out there this weekend. So that's a plus. Hey, I'm working on myself, you feel me?
Yeah.
But yeah, overall though, great, man. Looking forward to spending time with family, all that good stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
As I mentioned today, we'll be talking about seasonal depression. So we'll cover what that looks like. We'll be talking about some things that can cause seasonal depression, as well as how to recognize it in others. And then we will go into some coping strategies that can help you get through seasonal depression. And hopefully, you'll be able to take some tidbits from it. And if you do have somebody who is going through seasonal depression, you can kind of pass it on and help them through it as well.
Absolutely.
So let's jump on in. I know the music's still going. The holiday often amplifies both the good and the challenging aspects of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my first question is, what are some common struggles that people face during this time that can lead to seasonal depression?
That's a pretty good one. So I don't know. I kind of nerded out when I was researching the topic today. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of things that can correlate and go into it. So of course you're thinking about like the season changing. So like daylight savings is definitely affecting that. But also considering you might be having some relational issues going on during this season that can affect your depression.
Yes, indeed. Also, loneliness. Loneliness can bring on depression. We think of the holidays as a fun time, of course, but not for everybody, right?
Right.
People have trauma surrounding the seasons, maybe a death of a loved one, dealing with grief and stuff like that. And yeah, so that could bring on the depression as well. And ain't no telling what somebody's trigger is as well. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think a lot of the times people aren't even aware. They just start experiencing like symptoms, and then they're like, they're not really aware of what's happening. They just know that they're starting to experience different symptoms of the seasonal depression.
Yeah,
absolutely. So that's going to lead into our next question. What are some signs that someone may be experiencing seasonal depression?
From what I like research and put my little social worker hat on, because that is what I am now.
Yes.
So feeling sad, or like, and when we're saying that, like, we know sadness is a real emotion, right? Like, it's really natural for everyone to have, but we're speaking of when it's happening more frequently. So what you were saying, Marcus, about being lonely, like losing interest in your activities, like things you once enjoyed, you don't feel like doing anymore. And what I found that was interesting, I'm not gonna say all of them, so Brittany can have some to bounce off of. But
we know you fresh. We know you fresh. Master's degree.
I be having excitement.
Shout out to you, Jakar, for sure.
Period. But what I found that was really interesting is like when you're overeating a lot of carbs, having that desire for carbs might be a sign that you might be experiencing some seasonal depression. What do you think, Britt? What's some other signs?
So I do know a few signs. So it is definitely overeating is a sign. Not eating enough is also a sign. Sleeping a lot, noticing you're sleeping a lot longer, or you can't sleep at all. You start researching different medicine for sleeping, or different teas, so definitely overeating, not eating enough, sleeping too much, not sleeping enough, or even not attending events. Like if you're usually a social person and you usually attend a lot of events, noticing that I haven't attended as many events this month or this week as I usually do. So when you start noticing different things like that, I think those are our signs that something's going on there.
Absolutely. I love that. And we're talking about low energy, right? Somebody who's usually energetic, you might see them be lethargic, right? And I know you spoke about withdrawal from the activities, but also withdrawing from loved ones.
Yep.
Right. Not wanting to be around loved ones, that kind of thing. Can also be signs. So like I said earlier, we want you guys to be able to identify these things, because the person sitting right next to you may be going through seasonal depression and you may not even know it, right? So you want to be knowledgeable, that way you can pass it on.
Right.
And if you do notice any of these signs, of course, seek professional help, therapists, mentors, those kind of things. Talk to somebody though. Don't think that you have to go through it alone, right?
Definitely.
So up next, we're gonna go into some things. We're gonna go into the coping skills part of things. We're gonna talk a little bit more about things that you can do, right? The pressure to meet holiday expectations can feel overwhelming. It's easy to focus on what we think we should be doing rather than what's truly meaningful, right? So we're talking about unrealistic expectations. So how can unrealistic expectations create stress during the holidays? And of course, some of us may be hosting family, right? And we want everything to be perfect, which can cause stress and lead to depression, that kind of thing. So what would y'all say? How do you think unrealistic expectations create stress during the holidays?
I think with I think it can definitely cause a lot of stress if you plan to maybe, let's say you say, I'm going to attend four different, I'm going to go to four different homes on Christmas, and I'm going to run around. At this time, I'm going to go here, then I'm going to go from here, and I'm going to travel all the way 45 minutes here. And then, those are kind of like, unrealistic expectations to me, because things happen. Sometimes you're enjoying yourself at the first home, and you like, you look at the time and you're like, oh, I'm late, so now you have stress with trying to go to the next house, or something like that. Yeah, and it adds a lot. And just saying yes, just telling people, yes, I'll be there, yes, I can do this, yes, I can go grab this for you, for the holidays. I think of things like that when setting unrealistic expectations as far as surrounding the holidays, things like that.
I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
So it sounded like you spoke about some boundaries, right? Setting
Yeah.
boundaries.
Mhm.
In the house thing is so common. It's super
Yeah, it
common.
is.
You want to make sure everybody, you want to please everybody.
Mhm.
But we gotta make sure we take care of ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's gonna dig us into a hole that's gonna be hard to get out of, right?
So like to
Mhm.
piggyback off that too, a lot of people have that fear of like missing out right now, or like that FOMO, like go
Yes.
to that whole situation. Like I just want to get to everybody, but
Mhm.
that might be very excruciating or like exhausting to do that.
Mhm.
That's good.
Manage. Like to go a little bit deeper, like financial stress of meaning like we want to get everyone a gift, even though
Yes.
might not be in the
Uh,
financial means to do so.
that
Um,
part.
so I mean, I can even add to that personally, like having that guilt of like wanting to do more but not being able to, which might affect your seasonal depression too. Like just having that self guilt, like you want to be able to do those things for these people because they deserve it. But
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw a clip online. I think it's like Dave Ramsey or something. Like, they do all the financial things. And it
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
like, adults do not need you to buy them a gift for Christmas. You just want to do it. But I'm like, it's Christmas. Everyone deserves something. But it's like being practical. Like, if you can't afford it, don't do it.
Right.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Like you said, it's being honest with yourself. Like, I don't think I can do it this year.
Right.
Maybe I'll plan for it next year, but just sitting with yourself saying, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible for me to get all 15 adults gifts at this house, or I don't think it's possible that I can make it to the last two houses, that I have on my schedule today. And then like you said, you do feel that guilt. You're like, I
Mhm.
told him I was coming. I feel really bad. I told him I was going to be there an hour ago or 2 hours ago or whatever, So surround that, it could be very stressful around the financial piece, yes, and the different promises that you make to yourself and others during the
Yes.
holiday.
Yes,
Mhm.
indeed. Yes, indeed. I love that. I love that. So we're talking about just making sure that we're aware of why we're doing this, right? The
Mm-hmm.
meaning of Christmas, right? It's not um to stimulate the economy, you know. It's not to
No, we are.
buy, it's not to go it's not going to debt over Christmas, max our credit cards out to give somebody gifts.
Mhm.
Right.
And these are just things, society kind of pumps these things, got commercials. They send in my kids Amazon books with just nothing but toys in it. Like, come on now. Very, very good business, but not good financials, right? Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely is a must that the financial piece is major because it's out there. You spend money on Christmas, credit card, whatever it takes. You get everybody a gift,
Yep.
and
For one day,
for one
suffer
for,
Yeah.
January.
for one
Yes.
day. So I think it's very, very important that we do not forget the reason, right? The reason for the season, as they say.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. I love it. I love it. Okay. So up next, we're gonna talk about a little self-care. And let me go back. So we talked about financials, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about mental health. We're talking about all these things. I think it's very interesting to me how the message remains the same when we're talking about wellness, right? The situation changes, but the message remains the same. All the wellness categories remain the same. It's important that we're working on each of those. So I just think it's interesting how the message remains the
Yeah.
same across all categories, right?
Mm-hmm.
So up next, we're going to talk about self-care. So self-care often seems selfish, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we all know that self-care is not self. Well, we all don't know, but we know
We're
because
learning.
we're on the
Yeah, we're
wellness team.
learning.
We're learning, right. Us on the wellness team, we know, and we're sharing it with you guys. Self-care is super important, man. It's important that you take care of yourself. If you're not well, then it's hard to take care of other people, right? If that's your role, but overall, you need to take care of yourself anyway, regardless, right?
Right.
Um, so with so much going on, it's easy to neglect your own needs. Let's discuss how to make self-care a priority. What are some small practical ways we can care for ourselves during the holiday?
Hmm. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I think just maintaining your routines, like keeping like if you go for a walk, don't not go for a walk because you have to go shopping, you have to do all these things, you have to make phone calls, simple things like keeping your routines, keeping your self-care maintenance and like no don't neglect your haircuts and your and all your other things that you're used to doing. I know a lot of the times those are the first things we throw out the window. Like,
Yep.
well, maybe I just won't do this month because I want to make sure I can get gifts for everybody else. So I think just, you know, like keeping what you already have in place for your self-care, just maintaining it. That's the first thing I think of.
That's a good point because it makes me think of like the whole seasonal depression, which it also has like a different term, like seasonal affective disorder, but it basically means
Mm-hmm.
like your circadian rhythms are off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if
Mm-hmm.
maintaining our routines, we're able to keep that circadian rhythm happening at the same time. So like, how people saying like, "Oh, I have the winter blues," or it's
Mm-hmm.
when I go to sleep. Keep that routine of like going to sleep at 8 o'clock, eating at 5, so you're not throwing yourself off. But I also feel like another like self care tip would be to cook more because honestly, it's easier to buy out right now because everyone's
Yeah.
shopping.
Mm-hmm.
But your immunity is decreasing as well too. Like we're in the sick
Mm-hmm.
sick often, so like having those foods that we're taking time to cook rather than eating fast food can also help with like reducing that and giving yourself that self care time. Like I know I don't cook. I'm trying to learn, but like I feel better when I eat home cooked food rather than eating out often. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
yeah. I agree too. Mhm.
I agree.
What do
So
you
Yeah.
think? What's
definitely
your,
both. Go ahead.
what's your self care tip?
My self care. I'm kind of tagging on to both of y'all's. As far as just continue to self care, right? Like you said, Jakara. The times can get busy and we start kind of falling off our routines.
Mhm.
Brittany, you said if you're going walking, go walking.
Mhm.
It's important that no matter the season we self care. Not it doesn't matter if
Mhm.
it's December, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter January, February, whatever. Self care routine is important to keep in place, and we have to prioritize that. Um, we have to learn to put those things on the calendar and non-negotiable, right?
Yeah.
Because it's super important that we practice self care and take care of ourselves and maintain our overall wellness
For
for
sure.
sure. So my tip would be more of the same, more of the same. Um, and I have a scripture. John 1:2. I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well. So it just speaks to wellness, right?
Yeah.
Overall.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all right. So up next, let's talk about staying connected. So we're gonna speak on the loneliness piece. Of course, loneliness during the holidays can lead to depression, right? We spoke about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, loneliness can feel particularly heavy during the holidays, but connection is often the antidote. So my next question is, how can we stay connected with others during the holidays, even if we feel isolated?
I think that's like a double-edged sword sometimes because for some people, disconnecting is their way of prioritizing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So like trying to meet people where they are
Mm-hmm.
and like understanding like you know what I'm saying, if I know this person around this time of the year, it's really hard for them. Don't be overwhelmingly like
Mm-hmm.
connect because that can cause anxiety for that person because it's
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. So
Like that.
just being mindful of what each person needs because it's not the same for each person.
Absolutely. Yep.
If,
I
I
like
think that was really good. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with your car because I think for everybody it looks different.
yeah,
Um, like you said, it could be maybe this year you don't feel like doing like an in-person thing with family. So maybe it's just to stay at home. Maybe the way you stay connected is a phone call. I
that.
just want to call everybody and say happy holidays. I love you all. How you doing? Just like a quick
yeah,
check-in.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might look different, like you're staying connected, but maybe with a different group of people. Like maybe it's not family, but you choose to spend time with like your friends this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or you choose to spend time with like a group of people who you have something similar with, like a hobby group, something like that. Like we all go and we meet up and we do this activity. I think it just looks different as far as connecting with people. And I think it's important to make sure there's peace there, especially around the holidays, like we spoke about earlier. You don't want a lot of stress there. So if it is connected to your family where you start to experience different symptoms of depression, then maybe an alternative group is, a good, option for
yeah,
that time of year. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. So I have reaching out to loved ones, joining a church group, or
Mhm.
participating in community activities. Um, but Jakar, you brought up a good point. That is a double-edged sword, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
sometimes it can lead us to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I
kind
like
of
that. When I was thinking
touch
about
on
the question, I didn't think about that. So that's good. That's good. I love that. I love that.
I
Um,
kind of want to touch on that for a second. Like, when we invite all these people to different Christmas parties, there's probably like 10 of them happening in 1 week. Like at your
Yes,
kid's school, there's a
absolutely.
Christmas
Mhm.
party, at your job, and then there's some
Mhm.
each one. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, what if I don't want to participate? And then there's shame there if I don't want to
Mhm.
participate. So it's
yes.
like, I guess my question to you guys is like, how do we um go about the connection without judgment, without shame? Because it's hard for everybody right now. Like in the economy right now, it's not the same as when it was like 5 years ago, where we could
Right.
like make some space and find the money to do these things. But
Mhm.
like in this economy, we got to worry about the bills, Christmas,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know what I mean? So like, how do we allow the connection, but without shaming that person that can't afford it, or without shaming that person that can't get there?
That's good. That's good.
I think, oh,
But
go ahead.
no, go ahead, Brett.
I was going to say, I think it starts with just being honest with yourself. Like you said, just saying, I think shame a lot of the times is taking on what you think other people will think about you or think of you. So I think
Yeah.
just being honest and saying, okay, I know I'm not going to be able to make it this year. And you can know the reason why. You don't have to go into details with other people, but just let them know, I'm not going to be able to make it this year. It could be sweet and simple like that, but just make sure you're aware of the reasons why, and just sit with yourself and say, it's okay. Don't be so hard on yourself, because things can change the next day, really, or, the next month. But I think the first step is just being honest and saying, I'm not able to do whatever this year, and going from there.
I love that. I love that. Be honest with yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, and that goes back to the chosen family. I always focus on chosen family because those are the people who you identify as your peoples, right? I have friends who I went to middle school with. That's my brother. Like those are my brothers, right? And it's like you said, it's very important to be honest with yourself. And if those are your true friends, they will understand.
Yeah.
They'll understand, and it won't even take much explanation. And it'll still be love moving forward.
Yeah.
So that great question. Great question. All right. All right. So up next I have finding joy and purpose. So amidst challenges, the holidays offer opportunities for joy and reflection. How can we refocus on what brings joy during the holiday season? So this speaks more to the elaborate inviting people over and thinking the party has to be, perfect and all this and big. So I have now like simplifying celebrations, right? Not taking on more than you can handle. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it makes sense as far as like being realistic. Like, don't try to feed a whole army if 3 people only come in and you're the only one that's buying the food. Let's be honest. But also realize you can't please everybody either, because someone's always gonna find something to say something.
This is true. This is true.
I think about even like, how you plan to do a lot. Like, okay, first when everybody comes over, we're going to do this, and then we're going to play this game, and then we're going to sit and we're going to read, and then we're going to sing, just over planning. Some people, you go over the house, you like, I just want to relax. Like, I just came over here to spend time with everybody. Right. I just wanted to say hi, and sometimes people have so much going on because they want it to be nice and they want everyone to enjoy themselves. And the whole time we'll all enjoy ourselves by just sitting around and talking and just being around each other. And I think a lot of the times that's a lot of pressure too, with the planning and with, like you said, pleasing others. I think that's what it really is just pleasing others, but just simplifying everything and just saying we're going to spend time together. If someone says, hey, y'all want to do this, then maybe we all be like, sure, and still have a good time. So yeah.
Like welcome help. Like if you're gonna do a bigger event, have other people come to help you that are willing to help too, because don't wait till the day of, but plan accordingly to have like a collaboration with your friends rather than you just taking on everything.
That's good. That's good.
Absolutely.
And as people, we want all the credit. We want to naturally. But like you said, accepting help and being willing to you do this piece, I do this piece. And we come together collaboratively, we create this scene or this thing, right?
Yeah. I think that's really what it's about. Like just doing things together. Like it doesn't have to be one person doing everything, running the show. It's about everybody coming together and everybody doing their part, basically. Yeah.
And letting them do it in their likeness. Like you can't go behind them and like, hey, you use chestnut cookies instead of vanilla wafers.
Right.
Some people like it like that.
That's funny.
I don't, but some people like it like that.
You funny.
So no micromanaging.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go back a little bit. um, and talk about how do you find the right balance between socializing and spending time alone?
Hmm.
I think self-awareness, once again,
Yeah.
knowing you have to listen to your body, listen to yourself. Like when you're socializing, like within a group of people, and you start to feel any type of discomfort, I guess, like, okay, it might be too much, you can, sit there, just listen to yourself and listen to, kind of figure out what you're feeling, identify that feeling, and then say, okay, maybe it's time to go. I spent enough time here. I'm going to
Mm,
go off to myself, maybe read a book, maybe take a walk. Like I said, take a walk, or do another activity on your own. But yeah, that's what I think of.
okay.
Also, like maybe analyze how the holiday event went or the events went the last year, because like I think people give people the benefit of the doubt a lot, and like last year it was bad, maybe this year it'll be better. But if you realize the same things are happening, you might take a retreat. You know what I'm saying? Like pay more close to like the patterns, I would say, as far as like, well, how do you react in those situations,
Mhm,
what
mhm,
people are doing, because I think a lot of people base their comfort off of what other people are doing rather than do they self, like,
mhm.
I feeling discomfort right now, not
Right.
is
Mhm,
the friend group feeling okay, but am I feeling okay? And if I'm not,
mhm,
like you were saying, Britt, like maybe it's time for me to leave, maybe it's time for me to pivot, go to the next house,
mhm.
or go home, and that's
Yeah.
okay. There's no shame in that. If the time is up, the time is up, and I would
Mhm,
not, like, spaz out on somebody that's not, it's not warranted for, then me just go home and like regroup.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, I agree. That goes back to the knowing yourself piece, um,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and also not people pleasing, right? Um, they
it's
these you
hard.
He said it's hard,
It's hard.
it is
especially around the holidays. It
it
is.
is yeah,
Mhm,
it is because you want everything to be perfect. You want the
mhm,
perfect holiday, and even and this even with the kids, right?
Yeah.
Um um just making sure they know the true meaning of Christmas, right? I
mhm.
almost wish we never started giving gifts, right? They wouldn't know no better.
Right, no, 'cause you
I'm
think of
joking.
the Jesus gifts. I mean, I think people just go overboard with it, and they make it all about giving gifts. I
Hmm.
think that's where, because it's about giving, yes, but people start to believe that it's just, what am I going to receive?
Yeah.
What are we going, so it
Yeah.
becomes about receiving rather than giving.
Yes.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah, and then you have them make these Christmas lists, and things
Yeah.
things like that. And then you feel obligated to get them what they put on the list. Like, this is $1,000 product. You really put this on your list?
Who? And that's when you tell yourself,
Right.
You
no,
know, you know.
no,
You
Uh,
said no. Even
no.
decorating can be overwhelming. Trees and outdoor decorating, and you know, it can. I mean,
You talking
if
to me? You
you
talking?
like decorating, Shakara, you
You talking?
you still decorating?
are you a decorator, Jakar?
Okay, I like Christmas, but I'm trying to get
Hmm.
my husband to put the lights outside, but he's like, no, we're not doing it. But I'm like, everybody in the neighborhood got lights. Like, I want lights. No. So I'll take it. I'll take it. No, no,
Hmm.
Brittany's what you telling me? No, I don't need to buy nothing else.
No, no, just whatever you have now is fine.
Because Brittany, I
But
know
you're
you're.
talking to somebody who
Yeah,
has
Exactly.
multiple.
that's what I was about to say.
I
You're a
might be the
decorator
wrong
yourself.
person. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I do have a lot of trees up. I
How
will be
many
honest.
trees?
Okay, so I have 4 right now, but in my defense, one
Four
is
trees?
one. Yeah, one of my son's birthdays. His birthday is on Christmas, so one of the trees is his. So that's his birthday tree. So yeah, it's I have reasons
I
for.
can get my lights if you got food.
Yeah. But I like decorating. I like how my kids, when they see it, how they light up and they're like, "Oh my gosh, mom, it looks so nice. Look at this." I like that. I like that feeling.
I like
So
that
yeah.
feeling.
I like when they get excited about the decor.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Mhm.
Now, what I would like to do is I would like to get the kids together and maybe go volunteer somewhere. Um,
Mhm. Yeah.
something like that. That
Mhm.
those kind of things I think reflect the real meaning of Christmas as opposed to giving them gifts. I haven't made it there yet, but that's what I would like to do. Right. Um,
Mhm.
I'm taking a step in the right direction. Maybe next year, we look into something like that where we can go volunteer and feed the homeless or something like that.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Speaking of like Fresh Start taking in the homeless men this past week was really awesome to like
Yes.
Yes.
and incorporate in our life. Like we didn't, make them feel ostracized. Like it was cool
Mhm.
to have them there for the service. So like to know that we're a part of a church that actually puts their foot into the action and actually does that in their own
Love it.
community is awesome. Yeah.
Love
That
it.
Yes, that's really awesome. And like you spoke about, feeding the homeless or doing something kind for somebody else. You can also donate toys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your
Yes.
kids don't need all 45 of those toys. I don't know who I'm speaking to. They don't need all 45. You can donate some toys to a kid in need, who maybe you don't know, but don't, won't receive anything this year, and that one gift would be really nice. So yeah, think about something like that.
Yes,
Or,
indeed.
sponsoring someone at the grocery store. If you see
Yes.
a lady at the grocery store, she can't afford her groceries, little 20 there. Or, gas pump if you want to bless somebody at the gas. Like, those are
Hmm.
things that we need practically right now. So, like, just
Yes.
help, would be really awesome in this season to do.
Yes. Yes.
I think that was good. But if you at that gas pump, just check, make sure you're looking at what type of car they have. Because I'm like, hold on, what type of gas are you using? I'm gonna
No.
help him over here.
Might be that $5 gallon. $5 gallon. Good grief. Oh, $1.
All you got is 5 on it. That's all
Yeah.
you
Right.
Pitch in. See if we can get some people to pitch in. We might have
Yeah, yeah. Come on, everybody.
collaboration. Yeah, that's the collaboration piece we was talking about earlier.
Yes.
All right, all right. So I think that's a good segue to the spirituality piece. Um, I know we spoke about the church, taking in the men, the homeless men, and all that good stuff. So amid the busiest of the holidays, taking time to reconnect spiritually could bring peace and clarity, right?
Mm.
So the question is, how can faith play a role in managing seasonal challenges or seasonal depression, right? Um, of course, prayer, right?
Yeah.
I'm staying connected, asking for guidance, right? Because of course he has a plan for all of us. It's already written.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's powerful and like what you were saying as far as like the plan is already made, so just being able to walk in that and like resting in that assurance that you don't have to know how everything is gonna go. Like releasing
Mhm.
in this season to be like, you know what, Lord? Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Um, but that's a big struggle for us as humans. I feel like because we want to control everything.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
whoever is out there that's struggling spiritually right now, like understanding that He already has the plan. You just gotta wake up and choose it. Choose Him every day. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. I'll follow up with yes, definitely having faith and knowing what his promises are. So reading your Bible, reading scriptures. If you don't know, you can download a Bible app on your phone, or you can ask somebody that to pray for you, and pray for guidance, and that he'll reveal, whatever you're looking for through the holidays. But definitely having faith and just knowing his promises, knowing that you'll be okay. He'll protect you, he'll guide you. So yeah.
Yes. And that faith provides hope and perspective, right?
Mhm.
Isaiah 40:31 says, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength,
Mhm.
right? So it's important to set aside daily quiet time for prayer, right?
Yeah.
Meditation, and like you said,
Yeah.
reading the scripture and staying in the word and knowing what he already said.
Yeah.
He said it so
Mhm.
long ago, it's already written.
Mhm.
So I think
Because
that's
it's easy to get in the season and forget what the promises are, or
Mhm.
yes.
to honestly like get so overwhelmed, or like so entangled in all the ways of the world, like what's happening right
Mhm.
now, to forget like he already got it. If the birds don't have to worry about what they eat, and the flowers are clothed, like we don't have to worry um
Mhm.
what's gonna happen tomorrow. You know what I mean? So
He
that was
got
good.
us. He got us.
Just knowing that brings me peace right
Yeah,
there. Just knowing he got us, like y'all both said, he got us.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
The old song, he got the whole world.
Is
Classic. Yeah.
that what it reminds you of, that song?
Classic. That's what came to my head. That's what came to my head. Got the whole world in his hands.
You do.
Those some big hands, but he got it. You know? That's our guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So up next, we're gonna go into so we're gonna talk about some family dynamics surrounding the
Mm-hmm.
holidays. Um, family gatherings can bring both joy and tension. So let's talk about how to approach difficult family dynamics with grace, right?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Right. He said with grace.
with
He said with
grace.
grace.
Yes, with grace. um, what are some strategies for navigating challenging family interactions during the holidays?
I
I
feel
think
like. Oh, go ahead, Brittany.
no, I was just gonna say the first step I would say is pray before you get out that car. Pray before you leave your house. Before you walk inside that door. I'm just gonna say pray, but I'll let you go ahead and talk to Kyra. I'm sorry.
So praying, I think prayer is first, definitely. Knowing your boundary. If
Mhm.
a certain auntie is the one that you just get into it every time,
Mhm.
keep it cute and keep it on mute. If you can't, you
Mhm.
don't have nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Um,
Mhm.
but also realizing, like you said, grace, so that made me think about where might that person be at? Are they even
Mhm.
to the conversation that you're trying to start? Is it the right time to try and mend something right now? It might not be
Mhm.
the greatest setting to try and mend anything. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Just being mindful of those things and where a person might be at.
I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
Um, and is sometimes in the moment it's hard to do that, right?
Yeah.
But like you
Mhm.
said, being mindful allows us to give that grace. It
Mhm.
gives space for that grace to for us to utilize that. Um, so I have down choosing your battles wisely, which is
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah,
in
she
the
said
same
it.
category, right?
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
you gotta know who you dealing with. Auntie be
Mhm.
cutting up now.
Nah.
If you don't want the smoke, don't go start a fire,
Go
right?
that, that,
Mm-mm-mm.
And maybe possibly have an escape plan as far as
good.
if something does happen, be willing to get up and walk away, right? Go outside,
Mhm.
get some fresh air, that kind of thing.
Or have an accountability partner too. Like if
Yeah.
Yes.
if you and your cousin know, like you know what's up. Whenever I talk to this person, if you see me getting a little, some,
Mhm.
Mm,
you know what I mean. So like you can have that person in the same room with you in the same setting to know, okay, maybe I need to help them navigate so they can activate a safety plan.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think just showing understanding,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
understanding that everybody is going through something. Everybody, you never know what the next person, is dealing with. So, like you said, have that partner right there. Just show understanding, say, okay, she might be going through this. So it's been a long day. You know, we all been here for hours. She's been cooking all day or
I'm
whatever
about to
it
say
is.
that.
Mm-hmm.
She's been cooking all day.
Probably just irritable. Need some food.
Mm-hmm.
Need some
So
milk.
just yes. So just showing understanding and say, okay, you gotta know your time. It's time for me to go. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I like that. And maybe reframing your perspective, right?
Hmm.
Just focus on the gratitude and the good moments.
Right.
Mm,
Um, Even if the situation isn't ideal, right? Accept that some things won't change, but you can always control the way you react, and that's all we can control, right? Is the way that we
yes.
react to situations. So
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, it's on you if you're taking accountability, right? The actual initiation may be on somebody else, but the way you react is on you.
Definitely.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, okay. So we did talk about we talked about the financial stress already,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, so the end of the year is a natural time to reflect on what we've experienced and learned. So the question is, how can reflecting on the past year bring perspective during the holidays?
Mm. I saw a quote. Well, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It's like a meme, but it was
Mm-hmm.
saying like if all you did throughout this year was just survive,
Mm-hmm.
you did it. Like
Mm-hmm.
one's
About
trying to come up with all those like accolades that you made, like, oh, I did this, I did that, I did that. But if all you did was wake up every day and survive that day and go to the next day,
Mm-hmm.
hmm.
you did it. That's a big
Mm-hmm.
accomplishment too.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
That's real. That's real. And for some people, that's all they can do, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they can do is make it to that next day.
Yeah.
Um, it can help us recognize personal growth.
Mhm.
What I have written down, right? You always want to celebrate your victories, no matter how small, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to just waking up this morning is a victory, right?
Yeah.
Um, God bless us with, but that's a win. That's a
Mhm.
win all day. Another day for us to be greater, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also help us to identify areas of improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Self-reflection piece, that's major. And making sure that we're right with ourselves, right?
Mhm.
So when I think, like you keep saying, reflecting, so like I don't think we give ourselves enough grace, and I don't think we celebrate ourselves for what we have gone through. Like Jakar said, the day, just every day, taking it a day at a time. We need to really celebrate that because life can be hard. You can be dealing with a lot of things and just saying, okay, I made it to work today. I made it through this day. I got home and I cooked dinner. I got
Yeah.
home and I worked out, like anything. And like you said, just write it down. Like keeping a journal was good. So
Yeah.
when you look back over the past year, you can say, okay, so now my goals for this upcoming year is to do more of this or do more of that. I think it's important to just be aware of, where you struggle with, what you did well, but
Mhm.
just saying, making sure you do celebrate yourself for everything, like
Mm-hmm.
small daily things. I did, I didn't eat that candy bar. I didn't eat it. I, I didn't eat it. I, I
I
I just
thought
think
about
it'd
it.
be, I thought about it, but I'm serious because especially if you have children, it's a lot. If you
Mhm.
have a large family or if you're by yourself. I did go out to that out into that event. I made a new friend. I spoke to somebody today. I gave somebody a compliment. I asked somebody how they were doing. Smart, like, people, you think it's nothing, but
For some people,
it,
it's a lot.
Yeah,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
everything.
So just reflecting on your growth, over the past years, things what you've done that things maybe you stepped outside of your comfort zone with something big or small. That's a large celebration right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I feel like people
Mhm.
just focus so much on like what we did wrong, not
Mm.
you're saying like on the strengths and like if surviving is all that you did, you survived a whole year. You still
Mhm.
get up. Um,
Yeah.
and there's beauty in that survival, and I think people kind of diminish that.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
a big point, and it's like, oh, I did that, but it's like, no, but you woke up every day.
Mhm.
Did you did the small feat to get to the big feat, and
Mm-hmm.
all those things matter in all of its importance. So yeah.
I love it.
Mhm.
I love that. I love that. Um, I think the journaling piece,
Mm-hmm.
incredible, right? Um,
Mhm.
oh, and vision board. We do have a vision board event coming up. Vision board is an
Yes,
incredible way. What
it's
what
gonna be
what
so
is
nice.
what's the date for the vision board? Anybody know off the top?
January 26th, I think.
January
Yes,
20th.
yes.
It's
Yes,
not January 10th anymore.
Mhm.
yes. So we moved to January 26th for the vision board party. Be there. It's going to be after services. It's going to be incredible. We're going to walk into 2025 with our heads held high, right?
Yes.
Right. And knocking
And
those
we
things.
made it.
Need
Listen,
it. Yes, indeed.
We made
we
it.
made it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I love it. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start to wrap up, right?
Yeah.
What what takeaway? What do you want? What things stood out to you in our conversation tonight that you want people to take away?
I would
Um.
want people to take away that you're not alone. A lot of people get sad around this time, and that's actually a type of depression. Seasonal depression around the different times. I know Jakar spoke about it earlier. The times change, the weather change. It can affect you. Less sun. Um, it. I think just reaching out, sharing your feelings with somebody, if it's a friend, definitely. If you need professional help, seek it. If you need help, there's so many websites you can go to now. You can look it up on your phone. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't know where else to go, you can make some phone calls. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of everything. It's a lot of different resources that you will have access to. But definitely just knowing that you're not alone. If you're feeling any type of symptoms that we spoke about related to depression, related to, over sleeping too much or eating too much or not enough, that you definitely reach out to someone, a professional, to get some help. And yeah, that's my takeaway.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Just to add to that, if anyone's experiencing suicidal thoughts or you have a plan in place, definitely reach out and get some help with that before it's too late. Because you are important. You do matter. Your strengths
Mhm.
are so valuable for this world, and we need each and every one of you guys, just like we need each and every one of you on our team.
Yeah.
So I think one of the takeaways is just realizing that you are strong. You can do hard things. So that's my thing.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Both of them very, very great takeaways. I believe my takeaway is definitely reach out if you need help, right? But the financial piece stuck out to me. Don't feel obligated
Mm,
to go into debt over a holiday that's meant for giving, not necessarily monetarily, right? You
Mhm.
can go volunteer. There's various ways of giving, so don't drive yourself into the ground over a holiday that has been you know um, put in front of us, like we have to stimulate the economy. What I'm trying to say.
right.
So yes,
Mhm.
So the financial piece stood out to me because I know that weighs heavy on us, and we all want to be good people. And there's other ways to give. There's other ways to give. Okay. Well, that's a wrap for the night session. I appreciate you guys joining me. You guys were awesome. This is another installment of Worship and Wellness, where we believe in biblical principles with practical steps. Everybody have a good night.
Happy
All
holidays.
right. See ya. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And we leave the studio.